Recently, a colleague reached out to me with the following question. Does the need for certified cost or pricing data apply to overhead contracts? I've been reading FAR Part 15 and I think not, but I would be curious for your take. I loved this question because it reminded me of when I first started working in contracts and I would frantically flip through the entire FAR trying to find an answer to my question, whether the question was related to a contract or to a corporate decision. So imagine how eye-opening and liberating it was when I realized that the FAR does not, in fact, always apply to contractors. And why is that? Well, the FAR was written to guide government agencies through their acquisition process. FAR 1.101 states, the Federal Acquisition Regulation System is established for the codification and publication of uniform policies and procedures for acquisition by all executive agencies, not by all contractors. As a contractor, you're only required to comply with the FAR to the extent that it's referenced in your contract, and only when taking actions under that contract. In fact, out of all 53 parts of the FAR, only a certain number of clauses in Part 52 will be referenced in your contract, with a few exceptions on occasion. Within those referenced clauses, other parts of the FAR might be referenced, and those are the times that you'll find yourself flipping to those parts of the FAR for guidance. So what about procurements made by contractors using their own overhead and G&A funds, which is what my colleague was getting at? Well, since there's no government contract mechanism regulating how you can spend your company's overhead and G&A funds, you can assume that the FAR does not apply at all. So here's my response to my colleague's question. Certified cost or pricing data does not apply to overhead contracts. Reason is that the authority for determining the need for certified cost or pricing data for contractor procurements is found in FAR 52.244-2. when a neg memo is required. Since that clause only applies when incorporated under a U.S. government-funded contract, it wouldn't apply to overhead procurements. So if you're taking actions to support your company's operations, and you're doing that using overhead or G&A funds, you are not required to comply with the FAR.